Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat siang dan salam sejahtera untuk kita semua. Yang kami hormati Bapak Ibu Sivitas University dan juga adik-adik mahasiswa. Berjumpa kembali dengan saya Hera dalam Information Literasi Mentoring Class Utilizing Scopus AI for Scientific Research. Mr. Joshua, the floor is yours. We are eager to hear your presentation and gain valuable insights from your expertise.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. Happy Friday once again. It's an honor for me to run this training session for you. My name is Joshua. I'm the Customer Success Manager for Elsevier Singapore. I manage Singapore and the Philippines, and for the interim, I'm also taking care of Indonesia. I will try to speak a little bit slowly this time, and hopefully everybody can learn from today's session. So I think for today's session, what we can do is that I will run through the contents of Scopus itself. And then what I can do is that we can run through how to utilize Scopus for various different aspects. And then subsequently, I understand that you also have access to Scopus AI, but at this time, there may be some issues with the access issues, but nonetheless, I'll run a demo for it and how you can fully utilize it as well. So let me just quickly share my screen. And this will just be a quick update with regards to the content that Scopus has as well. So if you can take a look at the screen that I'm sharing currently, you can see that Scopus is actually one of the largest, if not the largest, index database in the world, with access to over 7,000 publishers' data. With regards to open access items, we do have over 25 million open access items. Scopus also contains information from 426,000 books, 29,000 active journals, 2.8 million preprints, over 100 million records, 21.9 million active author profiles, and 94,000 affiliation profiles as well. If we were to break this down even further, we can tell you that Scopus is updated daily, and we approximately have around 13,000 articles that's actually being actively indexed on a daily basis. And when we break down the journals as well, we have 15,800 journals covering the physical sciences, 15,592 covering the health sciences, 16,459 covering social sciences, and 8,449 covering life sciences. We also have data from conference events, so 171,000 conference events, also around 13.2 million conference papers, and as well as preprints and books once again. So at this time, what I'm going to do is I'm going to change my screen share. Can bring you to Scopus itself. So, okay, now we've got the new share. And with this, now I can bring your attention to scopus.com itself. So with this, you can see that for scopus.com, there's actually multiple different searches that you can conduct. So first and foremost, you can see that you can do a document search. You can do author-based searches. You can conduct researcher discovery. You can do organizations. And subsequently, last but not least, you can also do the Scopus AI searches as well. So I think once access is available for you, then you will have this tab available, and then you can conduct Scopus AI searches as well. So before I do all of these searches, I'd like to bring your attention to this over here, which is the sources page. So when you click on this will actually bring you to the journals and books. So basically the backbone by which Scopus is built upon. So let's click on sources. And you can see that for the sources page, you actually now have information pertaining to the journals and books. So you have over 49,000 results. And this is where, if let's say you're a researcher or you're looking to publish into certain journals, you can refine this further based on the subject area, the title of the journal itself, which publisher you'd like to publish with, or if you know the ISSN number, you can also key that in. Maybe for today, we can take a look at the subject area, and maybe let's take a look at, for example, let's take a look at chemistry for today. So we can select on chemistry, and then we can click apply. So you can see that from 49,000, now we've narrowed it down further into 1,500 results. Now, for chemistry books on journals, we can further refine this by choosing the quartile. So if let's say you have for IPB, if there's a criteria that you are required to publish only in top first and second quartile journals, or only first quartile journals, you can click on this to refine it further. You can choose the source type. So if you're looking to publish into a journal itself, you can click on this and then you can click apply. So now you see from 1,000, over 1,000, now we've just under 346 results. And here, what will happen is that they will give you the top first, basically the first quartile journals for chemistry. So you have the various different titles, you have the site score, and what exactly is a site score? The site score is basically a metric that Elsevier has been using since 2016 to give a credible score of sorts for journals with regards to how many documents they publish versus how many citations they've received as well. So for example, if a document has 1,000 citations received and 100 documents over this 3-year period, that's how SiteScore does the calculations. The site score would be 1,000 divided by basically 1,000 over 100, and the site score will be 10. So the higher the site score, what this means is that generally there'll be a higher number of citations for a smaller amount of documents. This could mean that potentially the journals has a very high number of citations received, even though there's a smaller amount of documents being accepted into that particular journal as well. So it's usually a metric or indicative metric of a higher quality journal. So you can see that for over here, for chemical reviews, this is the #1 journal for chemistry. It's at the 99th percentile and #1 out of 404 for general chemistry. The site score is incredibly high at 105. And you can take a look at how the calculation came about as well. It's got 102,000 citations for just 1,000 documents. And out of this 1,000 documents, 96% of it is cited. So using this source page, you can quickly take a look at some of the top quality journals and make a decision about where you'd like to publish them into as well. So let's say I wanted to take a look further about chemistry reviews. Now you can see that, chemical reviews. You can see that chemical reviews is an incredibly old journal. It's been indexed by or covered by Scopus for I think almost 100 years now. The publisher is the American Chemical Society, and it gives you other information such as the site score once again, the SGR rankings, and the SNP score as well. And it gives you the chemistry that it covers as well as the rank and percentile. If you wanted to find out more about it, what you can potentially do is you can take a look at the rank and trend. So you can see that from 2020 to 2024, it's consistently been the top quality journal or the top percentile journal. It's ranked #1 as well as other competitors for this particular general chemistry field. And if you wanted to find out the documents that are contained within, you can click on View All Documents. And you get to see the total number of documents for the entirety of its range. So let's filter this a little bit on the left. So maybe let's take a look from 2020 to 2025. Maybe let's do 2020 to 2025. So we've got a 6-year range. You can filter it down. So they drops over to 1,507. And then we can take a look at the countries by which the articles are coming from and the language as well. But now, what's the use of this? Well, basically, if you are looking at a journal that you want to publish into and you wanted to see the journals, what are the articles within this journal itself, this is where you can take a look at it, and then you can make a more informed decision about whether you can publish into this journal or whether rather your manuscript would be a good fit for this particular journal. On top of that, you're also able to actually select all of them. you can export them into a list for maybe from further reading or further referencing. You could also potentially take a look at the citation overviews. So for this, let's click on this. And you can see it's generating the citation overview. And then we can narrow this list further. Maybe let's do 2020. And this is particularly important because what this does is that this is going to show you how these documents are performing in this journal or how the citations are being received over time as well. So you can see that there's a consistently high number of publications or scholarly outputs for this journal, and there's a large number of citations being received year on year as the articles mature over time. So from just having 3,000 citations in 2021, in 2024, now there's over 51,000 citations as well. You can also track the cited by, and you can see the performance of these individual articles and how they've received the citations over time and make more better informed decisions as well. So this is also particularly good, not only for seeing other journals and other articles, but rather if there are certain something that perhaps you've already published into a certain journal, you can actually track the performance of your specific article. You can compare it to maybe the top performing articles within the journal. You can see how the citations are growing over time as well. So very important for you to maybe track your own performance. You can track your peers' performance. Maybe for on an institutional level, IPB can track how your researchers are performing as well with regards to their individual articles for that particular journal as well. So this would be the citation overview. Can go back. Alternatively, you could also potentially select them, and you can see over here, there's also the analyze results. So maybe let's change it to cited by, and we can click on analyze results. And what this does is that it's going to analyze these documents, the lot of them that I've selected, and it's going to show you the number of documents by year. So you can see that sometime in 1985, then the documents started, exponentially increasing. It will show you the documents by the author, which affiliation, so which institutions are contributing a lot to this particular journal. So you can see that the three big ones would be the CNRS, the Chinese Academy of Sciences, and UC Berkeley as well. There's also MIT, as well as other institutions. So with this, maybe one more decision you could make is that you can take a look at some of the institutions that perhaps you are following, or maybe some institutions of interest for you as a researcher. You can see where they are heavily publishing into, and subsequently you can look to publish into these journals as well. From a IPB perspective, you could also take a look at a series of journals that maybe the top other top institutions within Indonesia are also publishing into. You can analyze them according to affiliation, and then you can advise your researchers or set some research goals such that you can advise your researchers to publish into these groups of journals as well. So some methodologies by which you can make use of this analyze results. You can also split them by country, what type of documents this journal contains. So whether it's mostly reviews, so let's see over here, whether it's mostly articles or whether it's reviews, you can decide whether this would be the right journal for you to publish into. And then subsequently, you can also take a look at the subject area that it covers, if it is a little bit more multidisciplinary in nature. And you can also take a look at the funding sponsor, if it is relevant for you. So let's go back. So with this, we've already covered the citation overview and the analyze results. You're also able to select them and once again export them into a CSV file, or you can add them into any reference managers that do support it. Or you can click more and save this into a list. The other interesting thing you could also potentially do is, so maybe for this instance, let me just select this paper, for example, and you can click on more. you can actually see who else have cited this paper, and you can view their reference use. So for example, if there's actually a top quality paper that you are reading and referencing, you can actually take a look at where this paper have gotten their reference from. And what you can do is that you can click on that and take a look at their references so that you can gain further reading as well. So when you click on references, what happens is that it'll bring you to the article's page itself. It will give you the abstract level information. So keep in mind, for Scopus, you only have abstract level information. You may not have access to full text articles unless if it's open text or if it's available through your institutional subscription. Otherwise, you may not have access for that. You have index keywords as well as contact details for the author. Importantly, when you go to the individual document itself, you have the impact as well. You get to see these Scopus metrics such as the citations and the FWCI, the field weighted citation impact factor, a really important metric that we do use, which calculates the number of expected citations you receive for that particular field of that particular field, or rather that particular subject area as well. And the global average is 1.0. So for this article to receive 38.0, what this means is that it is performing 3,700% better than the global average. So what this means is that this article in particular is receiving 3,800% more citations than expected for articles within that subject area as well. So we always compare this versus 1.0. This is particularly important as well. Really essential metric. You can also take a look beyond these two metrics. It can show you the media metrics, such as the Plumex metrics, if it's pertinent for you. So this would be the impact. And you can also take a look at the cited by. So which are the other articles that have cited this particular article? You can use this for further reading. And you can take a look at, once again, the references that this article has used as well. So if you wanted more foundational knowledge building, or let's say you wanted to further your reading even further, you can take a look at the references they have used as well. Then you can also take a look at some similar documents that usually will take a look at the searches based on the relevancy or related documents as well. And you can take a look at this for further reading. So let me head back. And let's maybe look for a more recent paper. So let's take a look at maybe 2022 to 2025. And let's take a look at perhaps this paper over here. So over here, you're going to have the similar list, but there's one more important thing as well. Give me a moment. Okay, it's not loading. Let me try to find another one. Okay, my internet's a little bit laggy, so give me a moment, please. Okay, let me try to load again. Okay, good. Okay. Okay, maybe we can load another one. I think something is wrong with my internet over here. Let's maybe take a look at another subject area. Maybe let's take a look at social sciences, since we did something science related as well. So let's take a look at social sciences. Okay. And we can click on this. Yeah, I think something is up. Okay, no problem. I will come back to this in a little bit, but maybe what I can do is, let me take a look at another article over here. Mm, Okay, I think no matter, what I can do is I'll just bring your attention to the compare sources page at this moment and click on this first. So I think the important thing I wanted to bring your attention was that we can actually compare the sources as well. So rather than taking a look at individual documents and seeing the individual document performance, maybe you're also more interested in taking a look at the performance of the journal itself and trying to find which would be a suitable journal for you. So previously we did mention about chemistry already, and this time I wanted to share with you maybe social sciences. Maybe it might be something also relatively interesting for you to take a look at. So let's take a look at social sciences. So once you come to the compare sources page, you can take a look at the uh, social sciences. You can take a look at any of the titles over here, and you can compare and contrast between them. So let's take a look at titles with social sciences. So maybe let's take a look at this, and we can load a few. So we have 3 different journals over here now. And the important thing is you can now compare and contrast them based off of their site score over the years. So you can see that Innovation, the European Journal of Social Science Research, and Journals of Gerontology, they're both slightly older journals. They've been around and they've been having a strong uptrend in terms of site score as well. So they've been increasing over year on year. You also have the Fudan Journal of Humanities and Social Sciences. It's relatively newer, but it's also caught up quickly with the European Journal of Social Sciences as well. So this is one way you can compare and contrast between various different journals. You have others as well, such as the SGR ranking, the SCImago journal ranking by year. You can also compare by the SNP score, the source normalized impact factor per paper by year. And there's others as well. There's the documents by year, percent not cited by year, and percentage review articles by year as well. So this way, you have multiple different metrics just beyond the site score. You have also the percentage not cited by year to make a better informed decision making about whether which journal will be the best choice for you. Because one of the limitations of site score would be the fact that it calculates for the total number of citations received by the total number of documents by year, but it could be impacted by the fact that perhaps 1 or 2% of the papers are going to be cited maybe 10, 20 times more than the other documents. So if, let's say, for example, there's a total of 100 citations, but two documents itself covers 70 citations, and the other remaining 98 only has about 40 or 50 citations, then the site score will be a little bit skewed as well. Even though the site score is high, it doesn't show the exact breakdown. So that's why there's also other metrics such as the percentage not cited by year, where you can take a look at the number of documents that are not being cited within the journal. So you can compare and contrast between both of them and make a better decision as well. Like how many percent is being cited, how many percent is not being cited, you can make a better decision based off of this. So this is some of the ways you can compare and contrast. And importantly, you can measure up to 10 sources to compare as well. So a particularly powerful tool if you're within a certain subject area and you're looking for journals to compare, so you can make a better decision about where you like to publish into. So perhaps if you have any questions also at this time, you can definitely raise your hand, can ask, or alternatively, you can just paste your questions into the chat as well. So someone did mention to me and ask, how many times in Scopus update to the latest journal in a week? So Scopus by itself, the indexation takes place daily, but the updates for Scopus with regards to the journals, they occurs on a monthly basis because this is when the independent board, so we have independent board known as the CSAB, the Content Selection Advisory Board, which consists of a lot of like subject matter experts. They gather on a monthly basis for several updates pertaining to the journal itself. Whereas for the indexation process, this occurs daily. So I hope this helps. Yeah. So this would be for the compare sources page. Now this is what I wanted to show earlier. And then we can go back to the home page for Scopus right now. So what I've shown so far is that is this sources page over here, where you can now take a look at the journals. You can compare and contrast between the journals. You can also take a look at the documents within the journals, as well as the performance in terms of number of citations received over time for these articles as well. So this would be the sources page over here. Now, I'm going to bring your attention now to the basic search within Scopus, and this would be the document search right now. So let me close this. Give me a moment. Okay. So within the document search, you can conduct multiple different searches. You can search through title, abstract keywords. You can also search for the author if you know their name, and various different things such as the affiliation. So like which institution they're from, which country they're from, so on and so forth. So if you are interested, maybe we can take a look at country, and we can take a look at Indonesia. And you can click search. What this does is that it's going to show you the documents that are indexed within Scopus that's highly associated with Indonesia, or there's a contributing factor from Indonesia as well. You can see there's over 500,000 documents that is affiliated with Indonesia. Now we can once again refine this. So let's take a look at maybe 2020 to 2025. We can go. We can take a look at the subject area. So we took a look at chemistry and social sciences. Let's take a look at computer science, limit 2. And let's take a look at the document type. So I want to see articles. I want the affiliation, any specific institution. So let's take a look. So we have IPB over here. We can click limit 2 and click limit 2 once again. So you can see from 500,000, we've now narrowed down to just under 300 documents that's associated with IPB from 2020 to 2025 within computer science as well. So this way, when you do a document search, you can take a look at the performance of institutional level. And once again, you're able to export them into a list. You can take a look at the citation overview for these articles, how it's performing, so how IPB is performing. You can also analyze them as well. So let's say now you are a leader at IPB, or you're interested, you're a senior researcher at IPB, and you wanted to see how your researchers are performing. You can do the analyze results. So now for computer science, you can see who are some of the top performing authors that are contributing from IPB towards computer science. You can see the what types of subject areas that it encompasses. So it's going to be majority of like computer science, as well as other multidisciplines that will be highly associated with computer science as well. And you can take a look at the funding sponsors. So you can take a look who are some of the major funding sponsors for these documents pertaining to computer science from IPB as well. So you can see that there's some funding from UK Research and Innovation, and then majority of them are from like also from Japan Society, as well as Kementerian Pendidikan as well. So this way, if you are a researcher, you can take a look at some of these funding sponsors so that you can also reach out to them or take a look at their site for potential funding opportunities as well. So this will be particularly pertinent for you for that specific subject area. So if let's say you're not from computer science, you're from engineering, you can do the same kind of searches for IPB, or you can not even IPB, you can take a look at other institutions as well. Maybe you wanted to see what University of Indonesia, or you wanted to see some universities in Malaysia, Thailand, Singapore, where they are getting their funding from. You can limit them accordingly, and you can analyze the results and find the funding sponsor as well. So a very powerful tool to help you with your funding goals. Now let's head back and one more time back to the home page. So this is for the basic document search within Scopus. You can also conduct a advanced document search, and this will enable you to conduct a search through the query string. So this one has a lot of operators and field codes that you'll have to use. I'll do a very basic one right now, which with the AND operator. So the AND Boolean operator will have, when you put this in, it will conduct searches, and only articles or searches that have both the terms that you're looking for, like heart and attack. So if it has heart alone, it won't show up. Attack alone, it won't show up. If it's heart and attack together, then it will show up as well. So this is a Boolean operator. And you also have some other field codes, such as like who are the authors, what's the affiliations, so on and so forth. So what we can do is, let's take a look at maybe artificial intelligence. And then let's do AND. Let's do Indonesia. So let's put a affiliation country. And then you can put Indonesia. So what this does is that it will look for documents or searches that are associated with Indonesia and must contain artificial intelligence as well. Let's conduct the search. And you can see that there's over 39,000 documents found. So now let's once again refine this. 2021. Let's do this to 2025. You've narrowed it down further. And now we can further refine it. Maybe if you are interested in this computer science aspect of it, you can click that. You want an article, or maybe if you don't want an article, you want a conference paper, you can click on that. What are some of the keywords you're looking at? If you're interested solely for Indonesia, you could put Indonesia as a keyword and English, and let's limit to. So now we've narrowed it down to just around 1,000 documents as well. And then what you can do is you can take a look at this paper. So now when you click on the paper, what it does is that it's going to show you which conference it's from, the authors that are involved, and the location as well, and which institution. So you can once again read through the abstract. You can click on the Scopus matrix, take a look at the details, and you can see who's the cited by, as well as the references that they've used as well. So this will be very important information. So now when you look at this paper, you like the work, you like the references and cited by. Maybe you want to find out who this person is. You want to take a look at their profile and want to see maybe there's someone that you'd like to collaborate with. It's also possible to do that. So you can see that their name is linked, right? So you can click underlinked as well. You can click on it. And what this does is that it brings you to a profile for their Scopus profile. You can take a look at it. And if you're interested, you can click on view full profile as well. So this will be the author profile. And you can see that this person is from Universal University from Batam. They have 137 citations and 7 documents. You can take a look at their document and citation trends, the list of documents that's associated with them, how many they were in a first author position, how many they were last author, and if relevant, it will show you some co-author and single author details as well. You can also take a look at how many people have cited their work, how many they've been a co-author in, how many co-authors they've been working with. So if let's say there's a top researcher that you're interested to work with, you can also see who else they've been working with, and you can learn more about their profile. You can also see which topics that they usually cover from their publications. And last but not least, you can also take a look at their impact on them on an individual basis as well. So over here, you can start seeing these are the number of documents that they have in the top citation percentile, their document versus their FWCI. So you can see that it went up from 1.42, it went up to 2.81, and then 3.57 in 2021. And then post-COVID, it's also dropped once again. So particularly important if you want to track individual author performance as well. Or if you're looking to collaborate with people, you can also take a look at their performance and see whether they'll be a right fit for you. So now with this, let's head back to the home page. So let's close this, go back to the home page. Okay. And let's go back to the basic search. And let's go to authors. So once again, if you know any authors, you can put in their name and directly find them as well. So if anybody wants to be kind enough to volunteer their name, you can type it in the chat. And what I can do is let me paste their name over there. If not, it's completely okay as well. Alternatively, what we can also do is we can maybe type in, let's see whether we can type in any more famous person's name. So let's try Menemukan and let's do a search. So you can take a look. When I typed Menemukan, it gives you the which institutions they're from and which country they're from as well. So one of the highly respected people that I work with as well is from this university in the Philippines. So we can click on them and view their profile as well. So likewise, if there's certain authors that you want to look at, or certain authors that you're looking to work with, you can find them through the author search and take a look at their document citation trends as well as their profile as well. You can see their impact once again, and you can see that over here for this particular author within the Philippines, they also have a lot of documents contributing to the Sustainable Development Goals, so the SDGs. So if this is a key KPI for Indonesia or for researchers in general, then your profile will, if you're contributing towards these SDG goals, then you will also have them in your profile as well. So you can see that they have several strong SDG support or contributions, with the big one being industry, innovation, and infrastructure. You also have a strong contribution towards affordable and clean energy. So if you're interested to know more about this, or like for this particular SDG goal, you can click on it and you'll be able to see which documents that Dr. Tan was writing and contributing towards SDG goal 7 as well. So this is basically for the author search over here. So if you know anybody with an IPB that you wanted to quickly take a look at, you also can try it right now as well through Scopus. So with that, I can bring now your attention to the researcher discovery. And this is where, if let's say you wanted to find out more about certain researchers, or you wanted to identify top quality researchers to collaborate with across the world, you can actually key in certain keywords, and what it does is that Scopus itself will try to find for you top quality researchers highly associated with that particular keyword as well. So if let's say you're looking for AI researchers, you can just paste it over there. You can see that some of the top performing authors would be this person from India. You also have Dusit from Singapore, so on and so forth as well. And you can take a look at the number of documents, citations, as well as H-index factor. If you are interested to find out more about them, that's when you can quickly take a look at preview profile. You can see which topics that they're strongly contributing towards, as well as their latest publications. So this way you can quickly filter through whether this would be the right researcher for you to reach out to collaborate with as well. So this is for researcher discovery. So you can go back. And now we can go to organizations. So let's maybe take a look at IPB University under organizations. So let's click on this. And then what this does is that this gives the profile for IPB as a organization itself. You can see the number of documents associated with IPB, as well as the number of authors contributing towards IPB. Keep in mind that this one may not be every author, may not necessarily be from IPB. They could be co-authors or authors that have worked with IPB previously and are also potentially longer with IPB as well. It will give you the breakdown of the subject areas. So we can see that IPB has a very strong focus for agricultural and biological sciences, as well as environmental science. And then you have a slightly less strong focus. Maybe the third biggest one would be for earth and planetary sciences as well. And if you're interested to find out more about which documents are there contributing to IPB for that particular subject area, you can quickly click on it. So particularly pertinent for heads of research, if let's say you're in charge of a certain department, once again, once you see these documents, you can select all and you can generate the citation overview. And you can measure the citation trends over time. So you can see that IPB started exponentially growing since 2010. You can also track the performance of the individual papers itself or articles itself for that matter. So you can go by cited by, and you can start seeing the top quality research and which ones are some of the most cited ones as well. So let's head back. Can Scopus, so someone did ask a question, can Scopus provide information about the average time it takes for publishing process in some journals? So, yes, if you know which journal it is, so Scopus will give you information or the link to the journal specifically, but the average time it takes would be on the journal's page itself. So let me pause this search over here, and I'll show you what I mean by this. So we can go under sources, and maybe let's take a look at this one over here. Okay, there's something wrong with the loading over here. But what I'll do is let me compare this. Hold on, let me see whether I can pull out the information. Okay, finally started working. So if you wanted the information pertaining to this particular article, what you'd have to do is you have to quickly view it on its website itself. So the thing is that Scopus will give you the link out to the journal itself, but it may not contain the full information pertaining to publishing with the journal because they may belong to a different publisher and they may not completely reveal those data or may not be easily accessible for those data as well. In that instance, if you do want to look for individual journal data, what I suggest you can do is take a look at this instead. So this one is also free. You can use it, and let me put it in the chat. Let me put this here. So this is particularly for Elsevier journals. So if let's say you're interested in biological science, since we saw that IPB is strong in biological science, we can do a keyword search over here, and we do biological sciences. Now what this does is that it's going to find you journals that belong to Elsevier, and you can see that there's an impact factor, your publication times, acceptance rate, so on and so forth as well. So you can make use of Journal Finder. If you're looking to publish with Elsevier, we have the information over here. So on Scopus, you can, if you find the journal that you want, as I shared earlier, then you have to click the link to go out to the journal itself, then try to find the information there. Because more often than not, because Scopus is such a large database and we have information from over 7,000 publishers, not all of them will share the information. So you have to check on them for their pages, on their homepage as well. So this is Journal Finder. no problem at all. So let me bring us back to Scopus. Okay. And now we were on the organizations page. We can go back to IPB University. So for IPB, now that we've seen which documents are contributing to which subject areas, you can also choose to analyze them, and you can also take a look at where IPB is publishing into. So this is by source. So when you click on this, you get to see where IPB researchers are focusing and publishing into. So you can see that Biodiversitas, IOP Conference Series Earth and Environmental Science, 3,000 over documents. And you can take a look at which particular documents are publishing here. So when you click on it, now you can filter it. So IPB, this is your ID number, and then you're limiting it to this particular journal as well. So this way you can start tracking which of your researchers, or rather which of your papers are going into which journal. So good way for you to take a look as well, to maintain or make sure that your researchers are actually hitting the KPIs that you want. Beyond this, you can also take a look at who IPB works with in terms of collaborating organizations. So you can see your number one would be Badan Riset dan Inovasi Nasional, and you have also UI as well. Some of your top collaborators who you are working with. If you're interested in your SDGs or your Sustainable Development Goals, you can click over here and you can see that IPB has really strong contributions towards zero hunger, sustainable cities and communities, also strong ones for good health and well-being, responsible consumption and production, as well as life on land, and decent work and economic growth as well. And if you're interested about which documents is particularly contributing to this, you can click on this. And what this will show you is for IPB's documents, 2000 of them, which 2000 are contributing to life on land. So some of this may be where there are IPB co-authors, and they may be somewhere here instead. So these are also highly associated with IPB. So this is a good way for you to keep track of your SDG goals. So now that we've done with organizations, at this time, maybe we can take a 1-minute break. Wanted to see if anybody has any questions at this time as well. Okay, if there are no questions, then what I can do now is we can move forward to Scopus AI. So when you do have access, there will be this tab for Scopus AI. And now maybe I can give everybody 1 minute. You can try to type a question you want me to ask Scopus AI. Any questions, you can make it in conversation. If you want to make it more challenging, you can type in Bahasa as well. I'll copy and paste it. The AI can translate it and answer the question for you as well. And you can tell me how accurate it is. So anybody, we can give it a minute. Maybe it can give you some time to type as well. Someone asked, why doesn't Scopus AI tool? So currently, you are supposed to have access to it already. I think there is some issue with the back end about why access isn't available yet, even though it was activated. Currently, I already raised a ticket request to the support team to look into this as well. We hope to have it rectified as soon as possible, and then you'll have access for it. Yeah, but currently I'm not sure what's going on. We're trying to work with the support team to ensure this, to rectify this. Yeah. So anybody, any inputs, anything you like me to type or try? If not, I will just have to try to type something else as well. So Billy sir, rather than journal, would you have any topics, or rather like subject areas you'd like to ask about? Like maybe you wanted to see about current developments for plant science. We can try top journal, but it doesn't really do recommendations for that per se. It's more of like information. Uh, so maybe we can just try. Let's see. So they do give some summaries for this. So this would be some of the top journals in plant science. And then you give you references as to why this is the case as well. Yes, sir. Like, sorry, Mr. Ahmad. The Yes, so the access would actually allow you to have Scopus AI pop up on your profile. At this time, I'm not sure what's wrong with the access, which is why we're investigating at the moment. When this is resolved, you will have Scopus AI. There's already access activated, but for some reason that we are not that sure yet, it's not showing up for the users itself. So this is what we are taking a look at the moment.
Mungkin untuk membantu menjelaskan, untuk saat ini akses Scopus AI di IPB itu sebenarnya sudah berjalan, namun ada beberapa isu yang memungkinkan saat ini Bapak Ibu dan teman-teman mahasiswa itu belum bisa mengakses. Namun saat ini sudah ditangani oleh tim support dari Elsevier.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir. So, back to Scopus AI itself, beyond beyond the questions, okay, I think someone also asked another question. Okay, for this question, how Scopus can detect predatory journals so the authors can avoid it. Okay, I will save this question for the last. I will come back to this because this will require a little bit of discussion. But for Scopus AI at the moment, you can see that when Sir asked about the top journals in plant science, he gave you a summary. But what he can also additionally do is he can give you go deeper questions or more follow-up questions you can ask it. Maybe you want to ask it the recent developments in plant science in Indonesia. You can just type that. And then it will give you information specific for Indonesia as well. And the important thing is, unlike free models or rather like more consumer-based models, the data or the language, the LLM that's being trained, it's trained on the Scopus platform. So the data are peer-reviewed articles, abstract information articles, and you're getting foundational documents as well that is building upon for this AI. So when you're asking it this question, you can see the foundational documents would be these highly cited articles over here or documents over here. And you have also other references as well. And then this is what the summary will give you. The recent developments for medical plant research, pest management, plant conservation, agricultural innovations, and gender balance as well. If you are interested to find out more about it, that's when you can ask it for an expanded summary. So it'll give you more information. And it will give you further information over here as well. So impact of government policy. challenges, so further summaries. If you are interested to maybe break down this information, now you have extra layers within the AI as well. So first and foremost, you have the concept map. So let's click on this. And what the concept map does is it will break down the information into a bird's eye view so that you can narrow down into which part of the answers that you really want to hone in on. So let's say now I'm interested in recent developments and I'm not really that interested in medical plants. Maybe I'm more interested in what's the educational initiatives. And perhaps maybe my focus is on how universities are partnering to develop plant science. So I can click on this. And what this does is that it's going to break down this particular area for plant science in Indonesia. It's going to break down this particular area and give me a summary based off of this as well. So for university partnerships, you can see that they're doing educational initiatives like Institute of Technology Bandung, ITB, Gajah Mada. They're doing interested in doing a joint development for MSc level. And you can get information pertaining to that. You also have e-science activities, mentoring programs, so on and so forth. So you can gain more specific information for specific areas using the concept path or concept map for the matter. You can also take a look at topic experts. So what this does is that AI will try to find the prominent Indonesian researchers that are contributing towards plant science as well. So let's see who it comes up with. So now it's going to give you a potential answer as to why these people could be a good choice or good match for you. So this is where you could potentially reach out and collaborate with these authors as well. And interestingly, the third layer would be the emerging themes. So this is where the AI will actually scour through the Scopus database and try to identify potential areas of research or potential white spaces in research for future developments as well. So you can see that these are some of the themes within Indonesia, such as ethnobotany, traditional knowledge of medicinal plants in Indonesia, agroforestry. You can talk about bioprospecting, so as biodiversity conservation as well. It is a rising theme. And what it does is that it gives you a short summary as to why this is a rising interest and some potential hypotheses that you could use for brainstorming as well. So this is for the emerging themes. So this is basically the overall, the overview for Scopus AI. I see we have one more question. Lenny has asked, can Scopus AI conduct the similarity check? Unfortunately, no. So it doesn't do that kind of checks for you. But what you can do is you can use it for foundational knowledge building. You can use it to potentially identify white spaces in research. And you also can look out for experts within the field to work with. So let's say I'm also interested in AI research in Indonesia. We can try to find it as well. And then this gives you a summary of the AI research, which sectors, and then you can try to look for topic experts. So you can see that now for Indonesia, there are some experts within Indonesia as well, and why they are relevant. So you can see that for this particular author, they are working on integrating AI technologies such as chatbots into English as a foreign language. There's also Teddy Mantoro and Amalia Zara as well. So these are all some of the experts you could potentially look at. And then if you wanted to type emerging themes, you can click on it. It's going to try to find you potential emerging themes for AI in Indonesia. So one of the consistent ones would be legal and ethical frameworks, AI in education and learning environments, AI and digital transformation in Indonesia. So we'll give you some information as well as potential hypotheses for that as well. At this time, does anybody have any questions? If not, in the meantime, I'm going to try to answer Rekha's question. So for how Scopus can detect predatory journals, this is 2 to 3 ways. So first and foremost, currently the way that Scopus works is that every month when the board does meet up to discuss further about some of the journals, any predatory journals with suspicious publishing patterns, right? Maybe they got accepted into food science, but somehow they're publishing random engineering articles. There'll be certain, because of the way that Scopus maps the subject areas, if there's any oddities with this, right? Where a journal is originally mapped to have subject areas for like food science, for example, but the journals within it is being mapped, not the journals, the articles within it is being mapped towards engineering. These kind of things can be flagged out, and the Scopus team will investigate it further. That is one way. Second way is if the any users, they do find very random articles within this particular journal and they realize it doesn't make sense, they can report it and then Scopus will investigate it as well. And last but not least, the third way is that if these predatory journals, suddenly they start having a lot of issues with the way that they're publishing the articles. If they only have one volume every 5 years, or suddenly they go missing or they are MIA for few years and then suddenly come back and they are starting to accept large chunks of articles, then the system will also detect that there's very odd activity in that sense. So first way would be wrong subject areas. Second way is people, when they are looking, they report it. And the third way is very odd patterns of publications as well. So some of the ways that Scopus can actually detect the predatory journals. The best way, however, is also for authors on their end to practice really good practices to avoid these journals. Try to publish with high quality publishers and ensure that, even if the journal itself is saying that, these top quality researchers are my editorial board, you have to verify them, check whether they are indeed the editors or if whether or not the journal is lying by itself. And also a personal responsibility to report this kind of like predatory journals if they somehow made their way onto Scopus as well, so that Scopus can retroactively remove them. Because unfortunately at this time there's so many different 50,000 journals, right, that we saw earlier on the sources page. To individually track all the journals and all the articles within them will be very difficult. And these predatory journals are really clever as well. Sometimes what they'll do is that they'll be, to get onto Scopus, they have to meet a very stringent criteria and they will be of very good quality for the first 2 to 3 years before they start their intakes as well, so that they can avoid detection by Scopus. So it's usually basically a cat and mouse chase. Every time Scopus tries to improve or the Scopus team tries to detect, the other side will also try to find sneaky ways to detect this as avoid the detection as well. So I hope this helps, Rekha. And if anybody else has any other questions pertaining to Scopus or Scopus AI, you can ask me as well at this time. If not, what I can do is we can take a 1-2 minute break, and then I can share some free resources with you beyond just Journal Finder, which I shared earlier as well. Thank you so much, Rekha. Appreciate the question. If not, at this time, what I can do is that for Scopus, this is majority for the way you can utilize it and use it to support your research goals. Maybe the other thing I also wanted to share with you would be for this as well as Scopus. Academy. Okay. So let me share this first one with you first. So this is Researcher Academy, completely free. You can make an account, and these are all e-learning modules that you can do in your own free time. And when you complete these modules, you can get certificates. It helps researchers with a lot of modules for different stages of publication or the research journey itself. So if let's say you need some modules on manuscript preparation, or if you need something with finding a journal research metrics, we have modules for all of this. So let's take a look at writing itself. You have modules on how to use Gen AI, how to do data visualization better. You have so many different modules on how to prepare your manuscript, how to prepare a proposal, so on and so forth. If you're interested in the publication process, you can click on that. So this is where you can see step-by-step guides on publishing your research, safeguarding quality in scholarly communication, making sense of science stories. So multiple different things. So there's a lot of different modules. When you complete them, you can get certificates for this as well. So this is for Researcher Academy. Once again, completely free. You can just make an account. You can start learning the modules and you can get certificates as well. So this is for Research Academy. And the other one that we do have will be more or less a refresher of today's training. It's Scopus Academy. So let me share the link with the group chat. If this is self-enrolled, it's free. You can sign up and you can take courses for the basic search, advanced search, so on and so forth. And once you learn how to do them, you also get a certificate for completion as well. So I think with that, I'm happy to see if there's anybody else has any other questions. If not, we can end the session slightly earlier and I can give you back your time.
Baik, mungkin kita bisa masuk ke sesi diskusi atau Q&A. Mungkin dari Bapak, Ibu dosen dan teman-teman mahasiswa ada pertanyaan mengenai Scopus, bisa langsung ditanyakan juga di kolom chat ataupun juga di raise hand gitu.
Thank you, Sir Billy. Much appreciated, sir. I think if that's the case, I don't think anybody has any questions. Thank you so much for your time. I hope today's session was really useful. The important thing is also, once again, have an idea about how you want to use Scopus because there's a lot of information, especially for the journals. You can use the sources page once again to just reiterate. The sources will be for you to pick and select the right journal. You can compare and contrast between them in terms of like rankings and site score. You can look out for authors using researcher discovery. You can also take a look at how IPB is performing or other institutions are performing through the organizational search. You can search for documents as well through the document search. And you can use that either for information gaining or you can track maybe your research papers. You can see how many citations is getting over time. And then for Scopus AI, you can use it to get information with regards to any concepts that you want to know, any developments in research, maybe for Indonesia, you can find out using that. And then subsequently, you can use the concept map to pinpoint on specific areas of the topic that you're looking for. So for example, if you are looking at AI Indonesia, and then the concept map will show you about frameworks or policy in Indonesia, you can hone in on that through the concept map. You can use the topics experts to find experts within the questions that you ask, so you can collaborate with them. And last but not least, you can use the concept map to basically, not the concept map, but rather the research gaps. You can utilize that to find consistent research themes or emerging themes within that particular question that you ask, so that you can potentially look for brainstorming ideas to make a hypothesis, or maybe have a set up a research directive towards that as well. So that's the basic refresher for Scopus, and I hope today's session was really helpful. Yeah. So thank you so much, everybody, for attending. And thank you, Bertha, as well. Much appreciated.
Baik, saya kembalikan ke perpustakaan IPB. Dipersilakan.
Baik, terima kasih Mr. Joshua, dan rupanya ini tadi langsung dijawab ya. Jadi
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much, everybody.
oke. Oke, thank you very much Mr. Joshua. Oke, mohon maaf ada kendala teknis. Baik, rupanya tadi langsung dijawab ya oleh Mr. Joshua. Jadi rupanya semua pertanyaan dari peserta sudah clear ya, dan mudah-mudahan bisa memberikan insight untuk kita semua. Thank you very much Mr. Joshua for the insightful and inspiring presentation. We will now Thank you very much for your valuable time, insightful presentation, and support for IPB University. I sincerely appreciate your contribution to today's mentoring session and look forward to future collaboration as IPB University prepares to adopt Scopus AI. Baik Bapak Ibu dan rekan-rekan peserta yang kami hormati, kita telah sampai pada penghujung kegiatan information literasi mentoring class dengan topik Utilizing Scopus AI for Scientific Research. Dan kami menyampaikan apresiasi dan terima kasih sebesar-besarnya kepada Mr. Joshua Benyamin atas pemaparan yang sangat komprehensif, serta kepada Mr. Jody Tridharma Prasetyo yang telah mendampingi dan kontribusinya dalam sesi diskusi. Baik, kami juga mengucapkan terima kasih kepada seluruh peserta yang telah aktif berpartisipasi dari awal hingga akhir kegiatan, dan mohon kesediaannya untuk mengisi daftar hadir dan formulir evaluasi yang telah dibagikan oleh panitia melalui kolom chat Zoom. Semoga kegiatan ini memberikan manfaat yang nyata dalam mendukung peningkatan literasi riset dan pemanfaatan teknologi berbasis AI di IPB University. Baik, wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you everyone and see you in our next mentoring class.